Hello everyone. Today let us continue with female reproductive system. So next is the fertilization and gestational period. Okay, so continuation. So coming to fertilization. So ovum, it is released from the Graafian follicle of the ovary into the abdominal cavity during ovulation. Okay, so from the abdominal cavity the ovum will enter into the fallopian tube, so through the fimbrial end of the fallopian tube. So here the entry of the ovum will be facilitated, that is helped or aided by movement of cilia present in the inner surface of the fimbrial end. Okay, so ovum, it is the matured follicle in the ovary, is in primary oocyte stage with diploid number. Okay, so inside the ovary, that is inside the follicle of the ovary, so the ovum will be in a diploid stage, that is 23 pairs of chromosomes will be present. So just before ovulation, it will undergo meiotic division. So meiotic division, then here only, so the number of chromosomes will be reduced. So mitotic division, so it will produce two daughter nuclei. Okay, so here meiotic division will takes place in the ovum. So primary oocyte will be divided into secondary oocyte and a first polar body. Okay, so first polar body will be expelled outside. So secondary oocyte, which consists of 23 chromosomes, which is haploid in nature, so remaining 23 chromosomes are lost or expelled in the first polar body, that will be destroyed. So thus when the ovum is released into the abdominal cavity during ovulation, it is in the secondary oocyte stage with haploid number of chromosomes. So initially the ovum will be diploid in nature. So next it will undergo meiotic division. So it will be divided into two, secondary oocyte and first polar body. So each consists of 23 chromosomes. So the first polar body will be expelled out and it will be destroyed, where the secondary oocyte will be released out, which contains only 23 chromosomes. So next is the fertilization of the ovum. So fertilization refers to fusion or union of male and female gametes, that is sperm and ovum, to form the new generation or offspring. So if the sexual intercourse occurs at the during ovulation time and the semen is ejaculated into the vagina, so the sperms will travel through the vagina and uterus and it will reach the fallopian tube. So the sperms reach the ovarian end of the fallopian tube within 30 to 60 minutes after the sexual intercourse. So movement of the sperm through the uterus will be facilitated or aided by the anti-peristaltic contractions of the uterine muscles. Okay, so the uterine muscles will undergo anti-peristalsis, that is in the opposite movement, so that the sperms will enter from the vagina into the fallopian tube. Okay, so the uterine contractions are induced by certain hormones, oxytocin, which is secreted from the posterior pituitary by neuroendocrine reflex during sexual intercourse. So the uterine contractions are also facilitated by prostaglandins present in the seminal fluid. So among nearly 200 to 300 millions of sperms will be entering inside the female genital tract, only a few thousands of sperms will reach or spot near the ovum. So among these thousands, only a few thousand sperms or only a few sperms only succeeds in fertilization of the ovum. So immediately after fertilization, 23 chromosomes of the sperm and 23 chromosomes of the ovum will arrange themselves to reform into 23 pairs of chromosomes in the fertilized ovum. So the fertilized ovum is now it is called as zygote. Okay, so that zygote should be implanted into, that is the zygote means a premature fetus, it should be implanted into the uterus. So implantation is the process by which fertilized ovum called zygote which should have to implant, that is fixes itself or it should be get attached in the endometrial lining of the uterus, that is the innermost lining of the uterus. So after the fertilization, the ovum is known as zygote. So zygote takes 3 to 5 days to reach the uterine cavity from the fallopian tube. So while traveling through the fallopian tube, the zygote will receive the nutrition from the secretions of the fallopian tube. After reaching the uterus, the developing zygote will remain freely in the uterus cavity for nearly 2 to 4 days before it is implanted. Thus, it takes about 1 week time for implantation after the day of fertilization. So, during the stay in the uterus cavity before implantation, the zygote will receive the nutrition from the secretions of the endometrium. So that secretion it is called as uterine milk. Just before the implantation, the zygote develops into morula, okay, and then implantation will start. So the layer of the spherical cells called trophoblast cells is formed around the morula. So again, around the morula a new layer of cells will be formed called as trophoblast. So trophoblast cells release the proteolytic enzymes, okay, that will lyse proteins so over the surface of the endometrium. So these enzymes digest the cells of the endometrium. Now the morula will move through the digested part of the endometrium and implant itself inside the uterus itself. So now development of placenta and embryo. So already uterus is prepared for by the progesterone secreted from the corpus luteum during secretory phase of the menstrual phase. So after implantation, placenta will develop between the morula and endometrium. So when implantation occurs, there is further increase in thickness of the endometrium because of continuous secretion of progesterone from the corpus luteum. Thus, the final form of placenta has got the fetal part and maternal part. So, the developed placenta will have fetal part and maternal part. So, next is the maternal changes that occurs during pregnancy. So, during pregnancy, the changes are noticed in various organs, body weight and metabolic activities and functional status of different physiological systems in the mother. Okay, so structural changes. So, there will be certain structural changes inside the female genital tract. So, first is the ovaries. So ovaries, what will happen means the follicular changes does not appears, that is there won't be any ovulation will occur. So follicular changes do not appear in the ovary and ovulation does not occurs because the secretion of the FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone from the anterior pituitary is inhibited. So corpus luteum will enlarges and thus secretes a large quantity of progesterone and a small quantity of estrogen, so which are essential for maintaining the pregnancy. So it will be continued for 3 months and then the corpus luteum degenerates. By this time the placenta will be developed fully and takes over the functions of secreting the estrogen and progesterone. So it continues throughout the pregnancy period, thus inhibiting the secretion of the FSH and LH. So uterus, when fetus grows, uterus undergoes changes in volume, size, shape and weight. So because uterus is the structures which will bear the child or fetus. Okay. So this will increase in its volume, size, shape and weight. Next is the vagina. So vagina increases in the size and its color changes to violet. Okay. So due to increased blood supply, so there is a deposition of glycogen in the epithelial cells of the vagina. Cervix, in cervix the number of glands, blood supply and mucus secretion and also increases. A tough cervix becomes soft and it is closed by mucus plug. The cervix will be closed for protection purpose. Next is the fallopian tube. A number of epithelial cells and blood supply increases the fallopian tube. Next is the mammary glands. So the size, that is the breast. The size of the mammary glands increases because of development of new ducts and alveoli deposited of the fat and increased vascularization, that is blood supply. So pigmentation of the nipple and the areolar area will occurs. Next, increase in the body weight. So average weight gained by the body during pregnancy is about 12, nearly around 10 to 12 kgs. So if proper parental care is not taken, so the body weight will increases by 20 to 30 kg. So if there is no proper dieting and proper maintenance of the body weight, it will increase nearly 20 to 30 kg and this can lead to certain complications. Next is the metabolic changes. So basal metabolic rate, there will be increase in secretion of various hormones, especially thyroid hormones. Okay, so which we have seen already, it will increases the basal metabolic rate, so which will increases nearly 15% in the later stages of the pregnancies. Okay, so next is the protein metabolism. So the anabolism of the protein increases during pregnancy. So positive nitrogen balance, that is more nitrogen content will be there in our body. The deposition of protein increases in the uterus. Carbohydrate metabolism, the glucose level will increase leading to glucoseuria. So ketosis will develop either due to less food or more vomiting. Okay, so because of all these reasons, there is hyperplasia of the beta cells. So it will produce leading to increased secretion of insulin. Okay, so in spite of the, if more insulin is there, so there will be more glucose intake will be there. In spite of this, there is possibility of developing diabetes in the pregnancy or latent diabetes after delivery. So lipid metabolism, so during pregnancy there is a deposition of about nearly 3 to 4 kg of fat in the maternal body, that is mother's body. So it also increases the blood cholesterol level and ketosis. Next is the water and mineral metabolism. So estrogen and progesterone secreted by the corpus luteum in the first trimester and by the placenta later. So these hormones increases the retention of sodium and water. So secretion of aldosterone increases during pregnancy. So aldosterone is what the function? It will in turn increases the reabsorption of sodium and renal tubules. So apart from water and sodium retention, there is a retention of calcium and phosphorus will take place. So calcium and phosphorus are necessary for the growing fetus. Okay, so with this today's topic is over. And one more thing I want to explain you. So in case of pregnancy, there are three stages are there. First trimester, that is the thing is divided into 10 months. So the 10 months is again divided into first trimester, second trimester and third trimester. So first trimester, so here first 3 months, so next 3 months is the second trimester, and the last 3 months is the third trimester. Okay, so with this we can stop this class today. Remaining we can see in the next class. Take care. Bye bye.